Hey everybody, Josh Sturtz in a World Alternative Media here. They thought they could shut us up. We're not going anywhere. We always find a way to go live if we want to go live. If I could go live in Africa, if I could go live in the mountains of Greece and Italy and Spain and Turkey and all those places, literally in the middle of nowhere in Göbekli Tepe in Turkey, we can go live from my house in Las Vegas. I dealt with the situation. We are here to talk about the news, and we're going to go into the news. So I'm glad to see some people tuning in, and this time we are streaming to float.app. So I found a way around some issues. I called my cable provider. We had been doing a video before this, and YouTube shut it down even though my internet speed was high. Anyway, I found a way around it. Nonetheless, there's a lot to go into regarding news, and while I was shut down in the middle of my previous live stream, I don't intend to be shut down again. We do see some people saying that it's choppy again, but this time it says that the live stream health is all right. I don't know what all right is, but nonetheless, you can reduce the video quality settings on the video. Let's go into some. For those interested, by the way, always I do want to make everyone aware of our Teespring store. Everything's linked below, guys. Make sure to check out what it says below the video. But here are our t-shirts and all sorts of merchandise on our Teespring store. So make sure to check those out. Anyway, I got more things to talk about. So let's get to some news, guys. And first, I do want to check that people are watching. We got 24 out of 136,000 people watching. Are any of you guys having any issues with the stream this time around? Let me know. Man, been all sorts of problems lately. Computer crashed. Dan Dixon Press for Truth destroyed his computer or something today too. And then on top of it, the censorship, obviously, it's just, we're getting hit by all from all ends here. Make sure to press like on this video if you haven't already. I just got a notification on YouTube right now that says video output low. Now it might not be because our internet speed is at 130 megabytes a second download, and it's at 70 megabytes per second upload. So it says video output low. There's no reason for that. So let's hope for that this doesn't go absolutely terrible. Again, the mic is not there's no bad connection with the mic. It's perfectly hooked up. Anyway. And again, we are streaming live to float.app as well. Anyway. Let's get to it, folks. See what we got going here. We'll load up a news story and we'll go full speed at it. We got that this works. All right. It's an interesting story, and let's get to it. Again, I'm going to open this up, and I'll be ending it, or I'll be signing off at the end, but that doesn't mean I'm going anywhere, so make sure to comment below, send in super chats, anything, everything helps, guys, and it is truly appreciated. I'm just going to check to make sure that the video quality isn't too over the top for these ridiculous problems I've been dealing with lately, which have been just unbelievable. Just give me a moment, folks, man. I'm suddenly dealing with more problems. Yeah, let's see. All right. That should be good. Hope that works. All right, let's get to it. Story is loaded up and ready to go. And a 3, 2... Hey everybody, Josh Sturtz in a World Alternative Media here, and let's talk about something that really has shaken the United States, because when we talk about ancient civilizations and ancient truths and ancient archaeology and all that kind of stuff, most people think of, if you're going to think about the Americas, you're going to think of, I don't know, Arizona and below into Mexico and Guatemala, all the way down through Peru and Bolivia. But there's another story that has come out recently out of, wait for it, Connecticut. Let's get to the story right now. As the State of the Mail article says, thousands of artifacts are discovered at 12,500-year-old Native American site in Connecticut that archaeologists say belonged to southern New England's first inhabitants. A site was discovered by workers constructing a bridge over the Farmington River in Avon, Connecticut. Archaeologists found a fire pit and a number of posts for housing and 15,000 artifacts that were mainly tools. The site dates back to 12,500 years and was home to southern New England's earliest inhabitants. As the article goes into, an ancient settlement that dates back to 12,500 years has been uncovered in Connecticut that was once home to southern New England's earliest inhabitants, so they say. The site was discovered by the Department of Transportation while constructing a bridge over the Farmington River in Avon. Archaeologists found an open fire pit and a number of posts from temporary housing, along with 15,000 artifacts that were mostly primeval tools. Catherine Labedia, a staff archaeologist with State Historic Preservation Office, told the Hartford Courant, this is a once-in-lifetime opportunity to look at a site of this age in Connecticut. This site has the potential to make us understand the first peopling of Connecticut in a way we haven't been able to in the past. So I just find, first of all, it's interesting. There's clearly cooperation between people, and I mean, whether or not it's significantly elaborate isn't the point. It's the fact that people work together, by the looks of it, to build something, which kind of goes against beliefs regarding ancient civilizations in general, never mind in the Americas, which we'll be going over in a moment. But first, as the article continues, the site is located near Old Farms Road in Avon. It dates back to a time known as the Paleo-Indian period. The archaeologists involved in the excavation have named it in honor of Brian D. Jones, a state archaeologist who died in July. The team uncovered 15,000 artifacts, most of which are ancient tools, and 27 features. The features are remnants of what the teams call human activity. They include holes in walls, what senior archaeologist David Leslie described as traces of behavior that have been recorded in the earth. You can see some images here. It's an artifact, as you can see. Not super big, but none of this stuff is super big. And again, it's not massively significant as far as megalithic kind of construction goes, but it's incredibly important to the history of the United States, the area that many of us live in today. As the article continues, archaeologists also found an open fire pit or hearth and a number of posts from temporary houses. Leslie noted that just a few Paleo-Indian features have ever been discovered in this part of the country, and the Avon site revealed more than 2 dozens. The site shows evidence of the earliest known population in Connecticut, she said. The Department of Transportation project required deep excavation for the construction of the bridge, which is the only reason this ancient site was discovered. Labedia said that such a deep dive, the artifacts and features were lodged about 6 feet under the surface, would likely have been cost prohibitive to archaeologists working on their own. All too often the case. Governments are too busy, blowing up each other to focus on such things like our history. Anyway, it is these federal laws and that the requirements that make people stop, look, and listen, Labedia said. As it continues, it's those laws that really have resulted in the largest identification of archaeological sites. The artifacts discovered in Connecticut coincide with a study from 2015 that concludes the North American hunters used spear throwers to hurl their weapons over long distances and bring down large prey. So basically how they did it, they'd swing it around, and it would be it's like an early version of the bow and arrow, but they'd swing it and the arrow would shoot out. Very interesting and pretty good ingenuity there. As it continues, anthropologists have studied tiny fractures in the stone spear points used by the Paleo-Indian hunters that began appearing in North America between 13,000 and 11,000 years old. He found they contain distinctive chips and fractures that match those created in stone tools that have been thrown using spear, thrower, or atlatl. These are essentially levers that are attached to the end of the spear or dart, allowing it to be thrown far faster and further than if thrown by hand like a javelin. The technology is widely thought to be a predecessor of the bow and arrow that later became common among the native cultures in North America. The new study, conducted by Professor Carl Hutchings as an anthropologist at Thompson River University in Canada, suggests that some of the earliest prehistoric humans to arrive in North America, known as the Clovis people, brought this technology with them. See, now this is where there's going to be some intervening ideas here as it continues. It also helps to support theories that these early hunters were able to kill large prey like mammoths and other megafauna. You can see some more tools there, very reminiscent of tools that I saw in both Mauritania, Africa, as well as in Turkey recently by the Syrian border, though it's nothing really, again, there's not great ingenuity to it. Any human could figure that out eventually, put two and two together quite literally. As it continues here, Professor Hutchings said that it was unlikely a hand-thrown spear with a stone point or flute point, as they are also known, alone would be enough to bring down such large animals, but a spear thrower could give hunters the edge they needed. This, he said, would have allowed these cultures to spread far more efficiently around the continent and inhabit a wide range of landscapes. He said close-range weapons such as the javelin or spear are well suited to terrain-based hunting strategies. As it continues here, with their requirement to drive game into trapping areas and nick points, terrain-based strategies tether big game hunters to specific locations and features generally require a considerable number of participants. Such features and strategies should enhance greatly the success rates of those close-range weapons. In contrast, in addition to providing Paleo-Indian hunters increased lethality and safety, the portability and range of the spear thrower may have meant that Paleo-Indian hunters were not tethered to trapping areas and nick points, thereby facilitating greater mobility and reducing hunting group sizes. So let's get into this a little bit, guys. I find this enormously fascinating, as people do when it comes to ancient civilizations. What I find interesting is that we hear all these stories for years. First of all, the Clovis people didn't play into what many archaeologists wanted to believe. And then after the Clovis people comes, what we found with the Hiawatha crater and the fact that 75% of all mammals were wiped out at once, which vindicates so many of the myths, so-called, of the ancient civilizations that lived through the Americas for a vast period of time. You can look at any of the Hopi beliefs and the Inuit and Cree even up north, down to the Navajo, and then further down to the Mayan, Aztec, Inca, Olmec, etc. It's fascinating because they have the same stories that people on the other side of the planet have at the same time or epoch regarding great cataclysms, floods, etc. What I see here is another connection that, again, stumps scientists. When we look at what was discovered from about 130,000 years ago by San Francisco when they were building a road long ago, which has recently been accepted for the most part, there's still some people hesitant, but mostly been accepted as examples of humans hunting animals all the way back then on the west coast of the United States. Now we have, on top of that, Clovis people, not just like the examples of cave paintings that showed symbolism like the bag, the ancient bag, handbag thing, and the pine cone and stuff that we see in Egypt and Mesopotamia. We now have connected to, and what this shows is that people were civilized and building things together to an extent, even if it was very primitive. We have evidence that people were over there, which is on the other side of the continent from these other examples, and very, very far away from Alaska and the Bering Strait, very, very far away from what we see, with the Aztecs, Mayans, and Incas, and especially the Olmecs, considering that those civilizations were said to exist over this period of time, only, just over a millennium ago, to even earlier or to later than that. But also on top of that, we have all this evidence that the Olmecs got their information handed down from earlier epochs, and that goes way further back. And this civilization that lived around 12,000 or more years ago in Connecticut would have witnessed the cataclysm that wiped out most of the Americas. So there must be some written record in that soil to talk about or to analyze. We see the Younger Dryas boundary throughout the world, but largely in North America. North America would have been the hotbed for cataclysm. Going back to around the Younger Dryas period, we see that this massive asteroid hit what we know as the Hiawatha Glacier in Greenland and wiped out so much land, about 45 million times the size of the atom bomb that hit Hiroshima. Which, by the way, wiped out everything within 1 mile radius, 45 million times that, obviously, with some momentum dying down around the world. We can imagine waters rising, ice melting immediately, and everything being all out panic. There's evidence that fires burned around the world for more than 1,000 years. So you'd see some kind of a nuclear winter, and this is what I'm most fascinated with this. This is an evidence of megalithic work in the Americas, so there's a lot of that. There's a pyramid in Illinois. There's Serpent Mound. There's a lot of examples. Arizona is filled with examples. What we see with this is debunking of preconceived notions that have been stubbornly and arrogantly enforced via confirmation bias for far too long. So I think that this is excellent news as far as the evolution of our ideas and our acknowledgement and our understanding of ancient civilizations in the Americas. And as Graham Hancock points out in America Before, his new book, there are more examples of ancient civilizations in the Americas than people realize. In fact, there might be more examples in the Americas than in ancient Babylon. Now, I still have to see them. I've been to Turkey. I've been to Mauritania to look into the restructure. I've been to Greece, Italy, Spain, all these areas. I've been along the Syrian border. I've gone to Göbekli Tepe, Karahan Tepe, which we did a documentary on, everything everyone should check out in our Ancient Civilizations list here on YouTube. This is our lesser version, our lower quality version of an Ancient Civilization report, because this is just grabbed from a live stream post later on for people to check out. But I wanted to go to the story. I didn't have much time, so I wanted to report on it during our live show so I could bring everyone this news. People have talked about it, ancient architects did a report on it, etc. So I think that this is an enormously important site. And I was just in Connecticut a few months back. I wish I could go there right now. I just can't. But no doubt, this isn't just one case. It's one of many, and there's going to be many more cases to come. The arrogance of this idea that the Clovis were the only ones is, of course, absurd. And of course, in the article, they say, well, this is evidence that, the Clovis, they brought certain tools with them and all that kind of stuff. It's just named after Clovis, New Mexico. It's absurd. It's not, sure, there's one example, but there's all these other examples. But because they sat on that one example out of Clovis, so they can't admit that there are other examples. So they turn their face away and pretend it's out of sight, out of mind, right? And that is really detrimental to us finding the truth and being the change, as I so often go into. So that's why we need to crack the whip on getting individuals out there funding trips as on the free market for people to go in and check out these sites. There's so many sites in the Americas that need to be examined, and not just the Americas, everywhere. There are so many in Australia and India, China, especially throughout Egypt. I mean, the Egyptian government uses many of the sites as garbage dumps, up with sand, put military fences around it, and calls it a military base. It doesn't let anyone see it. I'm not saying there's a cover-up, but it makes you wonder if there's a cover-up. Why is so much of the establishment against this kind of stuff coming out? I believe that most of it's stubbornness. I believe that most of it is arrogance, and most of it's confirmation bias, but there seems to be some knowledge that is being withheld, and I intend to find out why and what it is. So I will be continuing to go to sites around the world. Actually, what I'm doing right away is I'm selling everything I have. I'm going to live out of 2 bags as a nomad for a year or two, and it'll be like $150, $200 a month rent to different places around Europe and Asia, and I plan on investigating this stuff firsthand while still putting up all my other news videos here at WAM. So you guys can look forward to that. It's going to save me money. It's the only way I can continue doing these videos. And again, we could really use your help. So make sure to check the links below. We will continue doing this. Check out our Ancient Civilizations playlist for full-fledged documentaries in 4K, etc. at amazing sites around the world that very many of you may not have ever heard of before. Anyway, I appreciate everyone joining us. And until next time, this is Josh Sigurd signing out from World Alternative Media. Find the truth, be the change. All right, guys. That's one news report down. Is it laggy? It seems laggy. The stream health says that the video output is low, which is unfortunate. We got 42 people out of 136,000 people watching. I'm glad that you got around the censorship. We will not go anywhere. YouTube has been trying its very best to shut us down, and we will not stop. You know how serious I am about it? And you just heard it in the last report. I'm selling everything. I am going to be homeless on purpose. I'm selling everything. I'm selling my truck. I'm getting off the contract with it. I'm ending my rent in 2020 on my house, which is already quite cheap, but I can't afford it. I'm cutting out all bills. I'm cutting out everything. I'm living out of 2 bags. I'm going to first the country of Georgia, and I'm going to work from there. And I'm continuously get videos up every single day and not have to worry about the money that YouTube thought that they could censor me by shutting me down and making it so I couldn't make any more money. I will continue doing this. All I have to do is make at least $700 a month. I will make that happen, and you can try as much as they want to shut me down and beat this channel, which they will very soon. I will be on flote.app, flote.app, where I will be posting ways, censorship resistant, and there it's monetized. There's encrypted messaging. They won't sell your information to the Chinese. They won't muzzle you. There's no algorithm to tell people if they can or cannot or should not watch you. It's free information flowing freely the way it should. Float.app. It's like a boat floating on the water above the primordial waves of destruction that came and wiped out a civilization. In this case, YouTube. We'll float above it, and I believe it 100%. I'm betting my whole career on it. Ruby says, how close is WAM to receiving necessary funding but needed by January 1st? Not very close. We're at about $1,178 to go still that we need to raise in monthly pledges by January 1st to stay alive. But either way, we're going to make this happen, and by that I mean I'm selling everything I have, and I'm going to go some eggs so that I can continue to spread information online because I'm passionate about it. It was never about the money, but we could definitely utilize whatever we can get. Oh, we got controls that the messages have been hidden. I'm not going to hide the message. I want to see what they have to say. Gold Medal says, "Fick you psyop scammers." You could spell some of that right. I mean, scammers. Come on, scammers. You spelled it scammers. Anyway, you can call me a psyop all you want. If I'm a psyop, I wouldn't be going homeless. So whatever. Whatever people want to do, save, think. That's their problem, not mine. There are those that want to build and create. There are those who want to divide and destroy. I'll go with the creation and innovation and building. And if anything's a psyop, it's a people. That I'm a psyop within half a second of my video going publish. I'll literally press publish, and within a second, there's all these negative comments and all these dislikes, and it's like, I wonder if you're a bot. Anyway, there's more videos that we used to do. Brenton Womack says, and vodka in your Powerade. Vodka? You think I could do these video reports and talk this with vodka? Vodka is disgusting. I'm going to drink alcohol. There's only one kind of alcohol I drink, and it's rum. Only kind of alcohol I drink. And I'm working. I don't drink when I'm working. And I'm working most of the time. I work 15 to 18 hours a day. So not exactly the kind of thing that I'm going to get drunk doing. Chad Meyer says, create your own platform with Corbett, Luke, Press for Truth, Jeff, and guys like that. I'd pay a month's subscription. Well, you could go to float.app, and we're on BitChute as well. And we got a Teespring store, and we got Subscribestar, where I do subscriber-only content for $5 and up a month, but you can pledge less than that, but that's where the subscriber-only content is. Patreon and GoFundMe and all that kind of stuff. So, but I've been talking with that, and This sounds crazy, and I'll get back to you guys later, but I'm in talks with David Icke, and we'll see what can be done. He's working on a network. Anyway, so let's see. We got quite a few people tuning. Well, I should say we got 38 people of 136,000 people tuning in. Good to see guys that got past the censors. YouTube does whatever they can to shut us down, and I just don't buy it. I won't accept it. Our internet strength right now is at 70 megabytes per second upload. Yet our stream health is video output low. I just had to attach myself to different wires, and it got a little bit better, but it's terrible. I did a video earlier that was just down, and it completely kicked me off and ended the stream by itself. And then it said that YouTube wasn't allowing me to enable live streaming. It was crazy. Like, they're obviously... Anyway, we all know they censor. It's about what we do about it next. And what I think we should do about it is go to float.app. I might not do as many news videos in this particular video because I just did a video before this doing news videos, and I covered a few of the stories that are covered. So anyway, it's a chart. WAM News Live tonight here on December 18th of 2019. Anyway, Mass says YouTube is jamming the signal. LOL. Yeah, it feels like it, and they probably are. I mean, Susan Wojcicki said herself that she's cutting down viewership on content by 70%. And we've been saying since February that we just got cut down 80%. So all those people that said that we were BSing, that people just found us boring and left, they were only 10% right and 90% wrong. Because seriously, it has cracked the whip on us and made it impossible to reach people, which is why it's amazing, because we actually reach cases on float.app. In fact, let's see what is going on the app right now. And bring it up on the screen with low. Really glitchy. My computer crashed a few days ago. It's made it impossible to get videos up lately. It's just been a nightmare. We did post a video with Edward Griffin a couple days ago, so you can check that out. None of my pages are loading. This is very reminiscent of what it was like before my last stream ended abruptly. So, hope for the best. While I'm working on getting this loaded, we do accept Bitcoin. So if anyone wants a tip in Bitcoin, we really, really appreciate anything you can help us out with. It's that and all the links below. We take Litecoin, and we take Dash, and we take Bitcoin Cash as well. Anything helps, guys. So help us out. We truly, truly, truly appreciate it. Kevin H says, I will always follow a guy who called Justin Trudeau a scumbag. I appreciate it, man. Definitely appreciate it. It's a good time, though. Name, really, really angry. After a guy grabbed my throat, I had to call Trudeau out as he smirked at me as I was being dragged out of the room. It wasn't something I was willing to sit there and take. Matt Spence says $20 US a Bitcoin last week. Thanks, man. I really appreciate that. That's awesome. Always really appreciate the help. All that. It goes a long way. It goes a real long way. So anything that you guys do, seriously, it all goes towards us being able to keep this operation. That's exactly why I'm selling everything and leaving the country, so that I can continue bringing you guys stuff. I'm leaving everyone on my brand that I can reach people. I can't load. This is so horrible. So horrible. I can't even take it anymore. Like, it's just like they will not shut me up. You can try and shut down my streams all you want, YouTube. You can try and shut me down as much as you want. We will never give up. I have been poor and desperate before, and I'm not letting any lack of money suffer people. 32 people out of 136,000 people being reached. What does that tell you, folks, about the current situation we're in? Joshua Myers, what's your goal? What are you trying to achieve? My goal is to give people their own freedom, their own opportunity, their own possibilities in life. We are just tuned into this vast frequency of consciousness, and it's a miracle. And everyone should live free. It's about living by example. And my goal is to spread information and hopefully encourage people to break out of the paradigm. Stop complaining and solve the problem. Like this. I found a different wire and I plugged it into my computer so that I can do this live stream. It's still terrible output and it's still giving me problems, and I only have 30 out of 100. I will be damned if I'm going to allow them to shut me down. So I'm reaching 30 people. There's 30 people I'm reaching. That's better than none. Anyway, data 254 says respect. Thank you. Appreciate everyone's support, and I appreciate any suggestions anyone can do to really use those at the moment. We got to make sure to share this video as much as possible. Now, I can't access any other websites at the moment, so I'm stuck just checking the chat right now, which isn't the worst thing ever, but yeah, that's why we need the pledges. We need all that. Patreon subscriber, check out super chats, press like on this video if you haven't already, because this video, once we finish it, YouTube's going to hide it from even subscribers, never mind the suggested content, which means it'll never be all 1,000 views, which is kind of annoying to me. This isn't your mainstream BS, bread and circuses, Trump impeachment media. This is about free information online and providing people with ways to free themselves, what they know first, and negatives to create positives too. Chad Meyer said $9.99. You guys said keep it in. This is the key for understanding what we need to do. I really appreciate the super chat. Thank you very much. It means a lot. Very, very helpful. So thank you. I don't know about 27 years left. I mean, there's a lot of theories. I don't know if you can really put a date on any of that kind of stuff, but I do know that at any moment, terrible things can happen, and people are prepared. And that's one of the things I really talk about. It's like the vast independence. The politics is free, independent people. Freedom is just responsibility at the end of the day. It's nothing more, nothing less. It's responsibility. And people need to grasp all the problems and save them from themselves. The solution is you. The solution is within you. And really within you, because you are a being driving this vehicle body. You stay in it, you try to take care of it, and then someday it'll be gone, but you'll carry on and journey. And it's not about what is my, it is you are the journey. It's Ellen Watts, I think. Humans see themselves as somewhere just between the eyes, a little further back in the skull. And it's interesting because you can picture the area where consciousness is fast frequency, which is a beautiful thing if you actually look into the ideas of frequency and consciousness. Darth Shady Lavalin says, by the way, that is a very flattering picture of you in the thumbnail. What happened? Did I not show the thumbnail correctly, or what? Is the thumbnail for this video supposed to be this? If it's not this, then no, because that means it's serving me again to make sure I don't reach people. It's good times all around. Anyway. Realize I'm being ignored or I'm being blocked. By whom? Let's see. You really should listen to this. My dad says it's like you're on a choppy loop. I'm going to look here. And it says that I have 100, just over 100 bytes of upload speed. So I don't know why YouTube's doing this and why all these websites are running. But it looks like we're having some issues. Make sure to press like if you haven't already. I don't know. I'm trying to put this on as much as possible and get to as many messages as possible. It's very, very frustrating. I mean, I'm clearly being targeted. I don't know how else to put it. We just went through this on my last video, and it was 0.79% upload speed. And then I called the internet service. They're like, oh, well, we're running it. It's about 80. And I tested it, and it was over 100. And I changed cores, and it was more than 100. And it's just like, what the hell is going on? This is so ridiculous. They're just doing whatever they can to shut us up. But we are not going away, folks. We will never go away. Our passion is with you guys. And what you do next and your journey and you finding that journey. And so they can target us all they want. I mean, the only way they'll shut me up is if they kill me. And that's exactly the best idea. Though they are trying to destroy my relevance by stopping people from being able to see me, so that maybe someday that would be a plausible thing. But right now, I think they would at least create somewhat of a martyr and create a lot more. I don't know, of it off. Backed up entirely on IFS thanks to Ernest Hancock, and yeah. Anyway. No, John says John has the live. Yeah, well, I think my internet actually being targeted personally because it was 0.79 megabytes per second upload at the last and then I went and called him, and it immediately bounced back up. And then it went live. It was over, and now they're slowly but surely dragging it down, even though I'm plugged into the wall. I'm not even using Wi-Fi. So, yeah, it's terrible. So join us on float.app again, flote.app. I just broke 1,500 on the amazing platform. Everyone needs to get on float.app immediately. Avoid the pedophile elite medias that are trying to keep the stupid slaves. Join us on the future of social media instead. Chad says definitely choppy. Wonder if Luke's approach stroking BoobTube's ego helps at all. I don't know if he does that. I mean, even PewDiePie has been on YouTube a lot lately, and it's been pretty awesome. I've been actually quite enjoying that. He's the #1 YouTuber. He has over 100 million subscribers, and YouTube's been trying to shut down his subscriber. I mean, like, they're shooting themselves in the foot because it's not about money for them. It's about control. It's all about control. It was always about control to them. And they're trying to create their own democratic, tyrannic, sovereign nation on the net, the Internet of Things. And again, they're trying to give people bad interest, so people go, "Oh, I want 5G. I want a tap next month. So give me cancer." Anyway, it's Michael across the Sydney, Australia is about to be surrounded by news. Sydney? I know there's there's been a lot of fires in Australia lately, but isn't that somewhat normal? I mean, I don't know. I'm just so used to, California and fires just constantly. There's always fires in California. I did see that a lot of the population was wiped out in Australia, which is really sad. But Barbo says no 5G. Kiesel Life says no, I don't want 5G. Michael Cross says end times people. Dude, it's bad. I know. You know what's crazy? We see these town hall meetings when gender. YouTube take me down if I say anything different. Understand? Did a strip show in front of a bunch of homeless people for a homeless charity event. I just feel like we're in the Book of Revelations right now, honestly. I mean, we're so much in the Book of Revelations. It's crazy. I'm actually going to feel a great level of freedom leaving the United States and the Americas completely. And when I sell all my things, sell my vehicle, get off of a rent, become homeless, and become a nomad, I'm going to, I think, to BC, Georgia first, possibly Indonesia after that. They have flights with Level Airlines that are $194 for nonstop from Las Vegas to Paris. So it's amazing. So once I'm there, it'll be like $20, $30 a flight to these different places, get myself over to BC, Georgia. And from there, I'm going to stay a month, and then I'll go somewhere else for a month, and another month, just move. It's like $150, $200 a month rent, and all bills paid for, internet, probably better than Las Vegas anyway. And, I get to experience a lot of cultures, gives me an idea of more of the world, because I've been, obviously, as many of you seen, all over the place, and just grateful for it, and I'll be able to live on a lot less money, and that's important because we can't do this anymore in our current state. We are bankrupt. We are completely bankrupted. We need more pledges. We need more Subscribestar pledges. Everything. It's crucial to our survival. So anyway, I see that. I think we got a Patreon pledge short time ago. Of course, everything below for those interested. I'm sorry I'm not going into all these articles, but it's going to shut down in the middle of my stories. If I go into these news articles, it'll just shut down in the middle, and I lost a video because it cut me out 3/4 of your last support on my previous live stream. Very, very frustrating. So Joe pledged $3. Thank you so much, Joe. If you're still watching, thank you, thank you. Really, truly appreciate that. 4BZ Trues, what's up, Josh? Hey, what's up? Good to see you. Our stream is very laggy, and my internet provider, Cox Cable, is trying to shut me down. I'm going to just go out of my way and say that, because only when I do my videos, they cut it down to 0.79 megabytes per second upload speed. But then when I stop, it's at like 110 megabytes per second upload speed. It's Keel Lifestyle says, why don't all independent media get together? I'm trying to make that happen, man. I want to make that happen. I worked for 2 or 3 years. I think some people are going to listen to me. I don't want to be hard on any of the other independent medias, because I didn't prepare for a lot of things as well. But my God, it's been hard to get it. It's hard to convince people of how imminent the disaster of losing all of our channels is. This is why we're on Float app. This is why we're on BitChute. Subscribe to us on Float.app and BitChute. Things are linked below. World Alternative Media, at WAM on Float, and we're also at Josh Searson on Float as well. Michael Cross is BitTube, man. I was on BitTube, but they deleted all my videos, so I'm not going to trust them anymore. Screw them. I posted on there. I pumped it. I got a bunch of people on there, and then they just deleted all my videos when they went from BitTube to BitTubers. It's ridiculous. I can't even get a hold of anyone there. So BitChute, Float.app, and I haven't gotten. I can't figure out library. It's just. But also, I mean, I'm looking at a few others, and I'm working on working with David Icke. I got a call like 2 days ago from David Icke and his son. Like, what is going on? I was like in bed. Imagine waking up to that sound. It's like, hello, Josh. Anyway, I'm not. We'll go into that later. I got some announcements with that. But anyway, this brings us this $3 pledge. Look at where that's to. Brings us down to $1,175 a month more in pledges that we need to get by January 1st. It's probably not going to happen, but as close to that as humanly possible really makes it possible for us to stay alive as a media. Like I said, I'm so passionate about this. I'm so not in it for the money, just so you guys know, that I'm selling everything I have, all my possessions, everything, so that I can continue doing that. Michael Cross says, should do an interview with Watchdog USA. I appreciate the suggestion. I'll definitely check that out and look into that. And yeah, anyway, we'll see what I can do about that. I appreciate the suggestion. Lifestyle says X22 report and SGT and other sources. Yeah, well, crazy. If I were an MT and X22 were much smaller medias than WAM, they exploded. I think a lot for SGT is doing on stuff. But they've been supportive to WAM, so I appreciate it. They mentioned us in quite a few videos, and X22 as well. They're good people. I love X22 report, actually. They do a good job. But with that said, I see these videos, these live streams, people have 15,000 subscribers that have like 2,000 people watching at a time. Look at this live stream. Guys, we have 43 people watching out of 136,000 people. If that's not censorship, I don't know what is. It's ridiculous. Absolutely sickeningly ridiculous. Anyway. I don't know how much longer we can keep this up. We aren't able to keep the stream going much longer. They're just going to shut me down in mid-sentence. There's lots of stuff to talk about. I want to go into the news, but as you can see, I can't. If I load to another screen, it's just going to shut down the video completely. So, 4BZ True says, I know it's BS that you're a shadow banned. Let's do an interview, man. This is Charlie Forbes. Hey, good to see you. Yeah, right. You sent me an email. I need to get back to your email. I apologize. I just got a nudge today that I forgot to respond. But we'll definitely work on that. It has to be in January anyway, but I appreciate you reaching out, and I am open to being interviewed by anyone. So if you want to do that, we got to reach other channels and other people out there. It's very important. John N says Float is like Twitter. Yeah, it's float.app, flote.app. And you can also, it's encrypted messaging. They're replacing Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Tumblr, Reddit, and Patreon all in one. They have monetization coming out on videos. You got super chats on the live stream. You got, for example, no algorithm, so it doesn't tell you what you can or cannot see. They don't collect your information. It's amazing. And one of the main things that brought in this COPPA legislation to be enforced on YouTube is that they collect data. Float doesn't. So if they're not collecting all this data, they don't have to worry about all that stuff. But obviously, it's not for people under 12 years old and all that kind of stuff. But I mean, nonetheless, I think it goes without saying that you should at least take a chance on Float. Brian Forster is on there. Stefan Molyneux's on Float now. We have, Press for Truth. Dan Dix of Press for Truth is on Float. You can follow at King, the CEO. You can follow at Aaron Nakamoto on there as well. Lots of people that you should follow. Lots of great people. Crypto, CRYPT0. Omar Bam is on Float. Just a million different people. It's popping up like crazy. Naomi Brockwell. It's pretty awesome. My dad says the feed seems all good now. It's off and on. And I got 38 people watching out of 136,000 people. It's very frustrating. But again, like I said, and like the title says, they won't shut us up, and they'll never shut us up. And as long as I live, I'm going to be doing this. So they'll have to put a bullet in my head before I'm going to shut up. And good luck making everyone else shut up when you do that, by the way. Again, if they say it's suicide, it was murder. I always have to cover that ground. And all this is backed up on IPFS for eternity, so good thing they can't really delete me off the internet. It's all there. It's all backed up. And on, hard drives and all sorts of stuff. Speaking of hard drive, I got to buy a new computer right away, which I don't have money for, so I'm going to go into vast amounts of debt to do that and probably get late on all my bills because my computer crashed a few days ago. But it's not all looking down. Like I said, I'm going to be moving out to Europe and Asia in 2020, later in 2020, after Anarcho Vegas, which you can buy tickets for below, by the way. Use promo code WAM, anarchovegas.com. Check that out. I'm not going anywhere. I'm sticking to it, and I'm looking forward to a lot of things. The crash of my computer set me back a lot. I had to cancel all interviews and all videos for a month. And I was working really hard and lost all my momentum, and so that's the way it is. Ruby says, how much did your computer cost? So I spent originally a fortune on my computer that just crashed, but in May 2018, so it lasted a year and a half. It's ridiculous. And I used an M.2 driver, so it was really hard to try and fix. We see all the data's there, but we can't get it yet. I'm going to have to clone the drive. Anyway, it costs a lot of money. But I bought it for processing because I process 4K video all the time, and a lot of it. So because I'm processing 4K video all the time, I need to be able to have a really good computer. And apparently the second best computer in the world for that, my Gigabyte Aero, got destroyed. With a Windows update, by the way. A Windows update did it. It literally fried the system, and it's unusable. I can't even load it in safe mode. It's ridiculous. So, yeah, I need to get a new computer, and it needs to be good. The computer I'm currently on is terrible, but it was also good when I got it. But Windows did an update over a year and a half ago and destroyed it, and that's why I got the other one. This one is just working enough to be able to do this live stream, and I'm thinking there's probably something to be said about the computer having something to do with problems with our connection today. But nonetheless, I don't give up hope. I appreciate everyone that supports. It really does mean a lot. We haven't gotten any super chats during this live stream. Oh, yeah, we got Chad Myers. That's right. So, again, big shout out to Chad Myers. I really appreciate your help with the super chat a bit earlier. I see some people conversing in the chat. Man. Anyway, but I'm going to have to get going. Make sure to press like if you haven't already. It helps us get into the algorithm because once this video is done, no one will see it. And what's interesting is that 72% of our views until February of this year was from suggested content on the side of screens. Most views don't come from subscribers. You post to subscribers, it gets enough views in the first hour that it projects it into the side panel of the screen beside the videos, and that's what gets it the most views, and that's what catches it on with the algorithm. YouTube stopped us from being shown in the side panel for the most part, and so now only 1.2% of our views come from the side panel, where it was 72% before. So as you could see, that has dramatically hurt us. We used to get at least 400 people watching live when we had a tenth of the subscribers. So nonetheless, we're not going to stop. We're going to keep working at it, and they can bite me. I am never going to shut up. There's GoFundMe below, all the things you can help or check out to help us out, and of course our Teespring store. Let me see if I can load this up for a second without everything crashing. All right. You can get an F the Fed shirt, an End the Fed, Gobekli Tepe shirts, Creepy Old Guy 2020, The Revolution Will Not Be YouTube, Trudeau for Prison, Find the Truth Be the Change, Taxation is this one says Taxation is Theft, Epstein didn't kill himself, Julian Assange is a hero, Government is organized crime, Fiat currency is trash, All wars are banker wars, The media lies, They want to divide us, Rule yourself. You should definitely get that one. All I Want for Christmas is Bitcoin, Atlantis was real, Taxation was theft, all that kind of stuff. We got mugs, we got socks, we got I support WAM, government is organized crime, all sorts of stuff in men's, women's, all sizes, shapes, many colors. Not a slave phone case. Nah, Rosa Parks, 1955. You have to get your hands on that. It's the best quote ever. Nah. This is what I say when the government tells me to do things. A Rule Yourself t-shirt that comes in many different colors with NPCs, Democrat, Republican on it. My school, the internet is my school, all sorts of stuff. Statism is cancer. End the Fed. We even have End the Fed socks. We have End the Fed leggings, if you're interested. We have End the Fed baby onesies. F the Fed, all that kind of stuff. So check out our store on Teespring. Everything, again, is linked below. We appreciate any help we can get. It means a great deal to us. Alukia says, end the belief in authority. 100% agree. Only by voluntary actions are we truly free, and that comes down to the responsibility of the free individual. Keto Lifestyle says, I love the one about fiat crap. Yeah, definitely. Check it out. Buy it. Ship it in. There's cheaper versions. There's more expensive versions. There's hoodies, classic tees, premium tees, all sorts of stuff. So definitely check it out and help support WAM by getting our merchandise. It means a great deal, and you get something in return. So it's like a donation that you get something in return for. So anyway, Darth Shady Lavalin says, End the Fed leggings, so fancy. Of course, you got to go and do yoga, and you got to go to your gym wearing End the Fed leggings if you're a woman. Or if you're a man, hey, I'm not judging, whatever. I'm not allowed to judge on YouTube anymore. Anyway, I appreciate everyone tuning in. Chad Myers mentioned, talk about geomagnetic reversal. Yeah, that's something I've been looking at a lot lately, and I think it happens a lot more often than people talk about, and it's probably happened multiple times in the last 20,000 years on the 26,000 year procession. Anyway, I'm going into rambles here, so make sure to press like if you haven't already. People are already tuning out. I appreciate everyone that has tuned in. And Lukia says, so what about living with Aaron and King? No, I'm not going to do that to them. I torture them enough, and in fact, I'm about to torture them right away. So I appreciate everyone joining in. Make sure to press like if you haven't already. It helps us with the algorithm after this video is done. And hopefully next time I join you live, I'm not going to get tortured by YouTube and my cable company. Anyway, Zen, peace. I appreciate everyone tuning in. Having a stroke, apparently. And until next time, check out our Bitcoin links. Check the links below. All the different cryptocurrencies that we accept as tips. We can really use your help anyway. Appreciate everything. Until next time, this is Josh Sigurdsson signing out from World Alternative Media. Find the truth, be the change.